I made the mistake of turning on the news, and I listened to some of Trump talking in front of the Department of Justice, spewing his goddamn lies, telling things about us, about Americans. I can't stand that man. And now I find out I have pneumonia and I can't march tomorrow. Hold up the truth, warriors. Hold it up for me. I can't be with you.
Start off by saying I did vote for Donald Trump. We are possibly going to lose our farm if NRCS doesn't hold up their contract with us on the EQIP program. So the reason that they're not able to hold up the contract is our EQIP program, which is cost sharing on fences, waters, a well, and some seedings, was funded by the Inflation Reduction Act. Because of the executive orders, there's a pause or a freeze on the funding through the Inflation Reduction Act, and they're not able to pay out on the stuff that we completed or anything going forward. I'm not the only one this is affecting. So there are other farmers in the comments saying that they're in the same boat that I'm in because they signed these contracts, and the contracts, even like, so whenever I looked into the contract, I made sure that that funding was set aside. It wasn't funding that, oh, we hope it's there whenever it's done. I made sure that that funding was set aside so that way before I made these business decisions, I knew that funding was there per contract. So they're backing out on the contract because they don't have the funding, they can't release the funds.
Welcome to Inside the Diligence. Thank you for clicking on this video. To my return subscribers, I say thank you. Yes, as we all know that they have around and find out it is still going on. Now the farmers are complaining. Not just the farmers, the seniors, the Americans. Everybody are complaining and everybody are being affected. And they took to social media to complain. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are just like coming hard on those that are complaining that, what were y'all thinking? You know what I mean? This administration, when Donald Trump was campaigning, he literally said everything he's doing was going to be done. And for some reason, some MAGAs or some Americans are actually thinking they are not going to be affected because they voted for him, because they support him, that they are not going to be affected. Now that they realize that, yes, they voted for this administration, what this administration is rolling out in terms of policies is affecting them. Now they took to social media to complain, and I'm going to be playing your clips here and there from the farmers, from the citizens, for y'all to see that everybody have been affected. If you have not subscribed, please do not forget to subscribe. And thanks to the creators, we really appreciate it for giving us the opportunity to add our comments to it. Here we go, guys. Let's watch this together.
A video of something that happened all across the United States of America, and our press is not reporting on it. You're not going to see this on your local news. He definitely does need to be on the news. Tell me why we're not seeing this on news stations. Across all of our states in the United States of America, we had veterans coming together and protesting Donald Trump. Yet most local news stations did not cover this, did not report on it at all. And you're seeing it being silenced on social media as well. We have a president who said that certain news stations are illegal, as if freedom of the press is illegal in some way. This is just more proof that this man, one, wants to be a dictator, and two, has never bothered to read our Constitution at all. Now, I know he doesn't want to have this get out there, so do your best and share this post so that other people are aware that people are protesting and doing town halls all across the United States because people are not happy with what he's doing.
Trump just defied a court order and deported 250 Venezuelan migrants despite a federal judge explicitly forbidding him from doing so. So over the weekend, Trump invoked the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, which is a wartime law that gives the president the authority to deport non-citizens without due process, which is why a federal judge yesterday ruled that Donald Trump must immediately stop his deportation flights and return all flights that are midair. However, this morning, the Trump administration decided that they want to defy the court order, and they told the judge that it is both too late to turn back the flights, and they claim that because the flights are currently over international waters, that the U.S. courts lack jurisdiction. So, in other words, Donald Trump just violated a federal court order, which is both an impeachable offense and should lead to him being held in contempt of court.
You keep talking about the judge's written order, which hit the docket Saturday night at about 7:26 p.m., but he issued a verbal order before that at about 6:45 and 6:48 p.m. based on the court hearing, a verbal order from the bench. Does the White House feel the need to comply with a verbal order from this judge?
Again, as I said, all of the planes subject to the written order of this judge departed U.S. soil, U.S. territory before the judge's written order.
But what about the verbal order, which of course carries the same legal weight as a written order, and said for the planes to turn around if they were
Well,
in the air?
there's actually questions about whether a verbal order carries the same weight as a legal order, as a written order, and our lawyers are determined to ask and answer those questions in court.
The thing that I will never forget for as long as I live is how quickly and willingly the thing that I will never forget for as long as I live is how quickly and willingly the American people turned on their friends and allies who were with them through wars, who were with them in their darkest days of 9/11, who stood by them shoulder to shoulder.
Get rid of illegal immigrants, quit eating. And that's for everybody. That's, nationwide. If you want to get rid of them, quit eating. That'll solve the problem.
But when only 5 pickers showed up this morning to harvest his sweet potatoes, farmer Keith Smith saw possible ruin, the loss of his $500,000 crop.
They're running scared because of this new law.
And you're in trouble.
I'm in trouble, bad trouble.
Smith's 200 acres need 20 pickers, mostly Mexican nationals.
There is not enough documented people here to supply that workforce.
Most of your workers are here illegally.
But sure, if they got documentation, they got a better job working for me.
Fernando Aldeman, a Mexican national, has worked Smith's farm since 1992. Everybody's just scared.
Yeah.
Now, are you here legally? No.
No.
So, are you scared?
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared,
Smith's pickers make about $100 a day. He supports immigration laws, just not this one that threatens his third-generation family.
Well, Elon Musk just stood in the way of billions of dollars of help for farmers and ranchers in America, and there's not a damn thing they can do about it. My name's Will, and I'm your favorite rural campaign and elections expert. Let's talk about it. I had to step into the truck to make this video because the wind is blowing hard here on the farm in southwest Missouri. But it's not the only thing that's blowing hard these days. So is the Republican commitment to small family farms and ranchers. I already made a video in the last couple of days that explained the opposing plans of Republicans and Democrats to help farmers and ranchers. The Democrats wanted a much more robust plan that would have added $20 billion every year to the farm bill going forward. The Republicans oppose that because that's what Republicans do. They give lip service to small farmers and ranchers, but they never come through in a pinch. So we ended up getting the smaller Republican plan without the long-term guarantees. And instead of raising hell about the fact that we were shortchanged in the matter, we did what we always do. We saluted and said, "Thank you, sir, may I have another?" And Elon Musk decided to step up and do just that, serve us another. Rather than passing the short-term spending bill that the Republicans and Democrats had agreed upon, you guessed it, Speaker Johnson reached out to this invisible committee that was never elected, has never been appointed, has never had its day in front of the Senate, and asked Elon Musk if it was okay to carry forward with the bill. And what did he say? He said no, because he has absolutely no understanding at all as a billionaire, worth $400 billion the last time I checked, what it means to try to run a small family farm. So yesterday, the spending bill was put on hold at Elon Musk's request, and now that relief that was going to come for small farmers and ranchers isn't going to come anymore. And we've only got one day to fix the problem, and then we've got real problems. Now, I'm going to say it until I'm blue in the face, and I'm going to say it until you don't want to hear it anymore. Republicans are not looking out for our best interest. Time for us to hold them accountable. Now, I'm just a small farmer, but I still voted for Harris in this last election. And I did so because I care about the farming industry in this country. And I know which party has guaranteed the rights of foreign companies and foreign governments to buy American farmland, and it wasn't the Democrats. I know which party has stood up to give the greatest number of subsidies to farmers who can't set their own prices, and it was the Democrats. Now it's time for us to stand up and do the right thing as farmers and ranchers. It's crunch time, and those of you who are conservative can't let the culture wars stand in the way anymore of doing the right thing in regard to what's good for farmers and ranchers as a whole. Elon Musk is going to be awful for American farmers and ranchers. The tariffs are going to be awful for American farmers and ranchers. Mass deportations are going to be awful for American farmers and ranchers. And if you care at all about preserving farms and ranches, especially small farms and ranches in this country, then you better step up and do your part and leave the culture wars behind. Because crunch time is here, and a decision needs to be made now. That's the news from the Back 40. I'm Will, and I hope you have a great day.
Thanks again to the creators that make it possible for us to add our comment to it. As we've seen that the FRN find out is still going crazy, it's even getting scarier, and people are taking it to social media to talk about it. If you look at the news 24/7, all they are talking about is new things that is happening under this administration that is affecting people's lives, that is affecting people's business. So it is still going crazy. But if you are in that situation, I am just going to leave you with this next clip. Let's continue the conversation down there in the comment section. As usual, please, let's respect ourselves while we comment. And I will catch up with you guys later. Bye for now.
But this highlights the issue of our time, the thing that we need most and that we're in the shortest supply of. And it's not the usual question of, do we have to tack left like Bernie Sanders or tack right like Marie Glueson-Kemperez? It's not about where you land on the ideological spectrum that people are focused on right now. It is whether you are willing to show some fight. We've watched big tech and big media and big law all bend the knee. None of them have figured out the advantage of standing tall side by side. None of them have prioritized their integrity over the whims of a despot. None of them have showed a willingness to actually fight. And we watched the Democrats last week, after months of promising to show up and fight and never back down, do exactly that with the continuing resolution. We are in desperate need of some courage, of some spine. And if the media won't do it, if the tech companies won't do it, if the lawyers won't do it, if the elected officials won't do it, then it's got to be incumbent on all of us, incumbent on regular people to take the lead. That means showing up at these town halls where there are town halls. It means showing up to elected officials' offices. It means calling. It means taking to the streets. I promise you that there is one thing that will move every single person that we've been talking about. That'll move the government, businesses, the media, and that is when populations rise up. They will operate with a sense of impunity until it becomes clear that there will be no impunity. So if there's an opportunity to show up, take advantage of it. If there are town halls or protests or marches, go to them. I know that with all this shit bearing down on all of us, the last thing that we feel is empowered, but I guarantee you that you all showing up en masse as soon as there's an opportunity is the single most important tool that we have. It has the power to topple dictatorships and autocracies, and it has. And that includes the burgeoning one right here in the United States. So if no one is going to come save us, recognize that we're going to have to do it ourselves.